I know my voice flex back and forth. Sometimes I like talking like this, and sometimes I like talking like this. It depends what mood I am in at the time. We used to have recess here at our school. It's across the street, notice that. And this is the playground where we had recess. At one time, this whole area was our playground. We would run around, do the things that kids would do. Between getting to the school, how we would get from the school to come out here at recess, how do you think we got here? Just walking across the street, I mean? Do you think we just walked across the street? Think we had like a security guard there? We didn't. We didn't. And by the way, we got along with a lot of the security guards that worked for us. A lot of the adults, they would volunteer, if you will, to help the children get across corner to corner before and after school. So a lot of times if you were being bullied, you could run up to them, and they had a hard time with it because they're trying to settle down the kids. They don't know what's going on. They had a tough job, and sometimes once you got in to be a higher grade, you could volunteer to be a security guard. And I remember, if I'm correct with this, either my friends or my sister, one of my sisters at some point, they became security guards. So that was pretty cool to look forward to. And they always got out of school a little bit earlier because they had to be ready, standing up on the corner. But actually, this front door, close to the auditorium, underneath from the cafeteria where I used to eat way in the back, there was a long tunnel that went underneath the street. Here, I'll show you. Underneath this street. Okay, is it 6th Street I said? There's a long underground tunnel. That was fun to run through, by the way. I hope it's still open and that's how they come across here safely so they don't have to come across with the traffic. And then you come up these steps. You come out a door of the tunnel, and then you come up the steps and into the playground. Now, it's a lot different here. They have different sliding boards and stuff here. I think there might have been basketball, which they have here, but it was arranged a little bit differently. Can I tell you, a lot of fun times happened there. I was going in with my classmates, so usually I'm assuming, the 3rd graders went. And we went at different times. Recess happened, I guess it was 15, 20 minutes. You'd come down here. A certain group of kids would have it. So this went, and then you'd go back, and then another classroom would come out, or a different grade. They would come out and have the opportunity to play. Or you could stay indoors. Can I tell you something? There were many times, rather than come out for recess, that I asked the teacher if I could just stay indoors. And sometimes they would say no. Maybe they had to be out here supervising over the children, and you couldn't stay in there alone. They wanted you to be out here with everybody else. And can I say that was hard during those times that I was being bullied. I don't want to come out here and play. I didn't want to play. Me, VCAT, I love to play. Everybody who knows me knows I love to play. Okay? I didn't like to play so much out here. Why? Do you know why? People were picking on me. I come out here and I try to stick with some of my friends. Because I've learned at a very young age that if you're in numbers, it's less likely that anybody's going to do anything because they're going to go tell the teacher, and nobody wants to get detention. That was the big reason. We don't want to get detention, so we're not going to beat up anybody out on the playground. But the teachers had their hands full. I'm not saying they didn't. They had a tough job. What are the answers? These are things that I even thought back then, what can I do about this? Who do I talk to? I talk to the principal who's spanking me. If I talk to my teacher who's grabbing me by the arm and taking me out. Or go talk to my friend who told me I'm not going to beat you up anymore and tell me if you're having trouble. I don't know. I don't know who to talk to. I did reach out to people. I did reach out. I don't remember the details of how I reached out, but when I was living over here in Union Alley, of course, I ran across the street. I took this alley many times. Never the main streets. One thing I learned about living in Lebanon at that time, You never hang out on the main streets. You get noticed too quickly because most people do not walk the alleyways. Okay, I don't know why, but I did. I stayed in the alleyways. And when I rode bike, I always, even when I went into my high school years, very rarely did I ride on the main drag. If I did, on the main streets, if I did, it was for short term only. Just a block or two and then get back in the alleyway quickly. See, this was embedded in my head. Even if I didn't have to, can I tell you something? Even if I didn't have to do it, later years, I was already programmed. Stay in the alleyways, less hassle. You know, because there's still other forms of bullies. It wasn't just my classmates. Sometimes just older people that like to pick on younger people, maybe people with cars, you know, they see kids on bikes. Maybe word gets around this city very quickly. Maybe not. Maybe people just like to bully people around. It's less likely to happen in the alleyway. Usually, like I said, when I was on bike, most of the people who were bullies were people who were walking. They weren't riding bike. My friend had a bike, you know, that I was telling you about that ended up becoming my friend. No, I wouldn't say friend. You know, kids say friend back in the day, but it wasn't a friend. It was just a mutual agreement that, you look, the war has ended. Thank goodness. Okay. Thank goodness, because I don't want to spend the rest of my life fighting with one person. You know, it's ridiculous. It really is. You already proved a point, you know, in my head. Let me phrase this. The point was already proven that I wasn't going to fight and I didn't want to fight. You already won the fight even before the fight started. You know, it was one of those things. It's not for me. A lot of times in this playground, I remember running up to the teachers. They had a whistle. Not like my uncle who blew with his fingers, by the way. They had toy whistles, if you will, you know, the kind you blow. And that was a signal to go back in. That was it. When I was living with my stepbrothers, I don't know if I knew karate at that time or not, because I think I was dabbling in with martial arts and things over here on Chestnut Street. I can't remember correctly where I started learning karate. Ishinryu, if you look up to see when the Karate Kid was big, that was a huge inspiration to me. I can't think of, is it Ralph something? Macchio maybe? I forget. Okay, help me out here, guys. Let's make this a YouTube vlog right here a little more interesting for other people. Who was the main character? Not Mr. Miyagi. He played on Happy Days too, didn't he? I used to love the Happy Days a lot. I'm talking about the Karate Kid now. Ralph Manchio, is it? I don't know. I don't even remember the character name. But I just remember when that movie came out, that was my life. That was my life. The only problem was I never mastered karate. Okay, never mastered it. But I'm going to take you up here for my last visit to a place that finally started to help the elementary school years before going into junior high school. Finally started to minimize the fights dramatically. So let me tell you something. When a weakling like myself, you know, somebody who's considered a weakling in the eyes of the whole entire school, if not the city and the state, let me tell you something. When word gets out, you're a magnet for it. Everybody wants to beat you up just to be cool in front of their friends. Why? Let me tell you something. If I went and I knew somebody was getting beat up, I wouldn't want to beat that person up. In all honesty, is it because I was being bullied around? What I would want to do is go beat up the person who's beating up the other person, you know? I never really got that myself. Well, we're walking up here and I show you where a fight broke out. We used to go trick-or-treating in this neighborhood a lot. It's a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. Remember, when I went trick-or-treating, I never went alone with my family. I always liked it here because there's grass islands. There's grass islands in the middle. That was always beautiful to me, even as a child growing up. I always looked forward to riding my bike through here with the trees and the shade. You know, I love the sun. Everybody who knows me knows I love the sun. But I remember going to some of these houses like this one here, specifically. And for years, they always had like a pumpkin or a skeleton or something, a jack-o'-lantern. Is that it, right? A jack-o'-lantern of some sort up there, and they had scary music playing. I I used to love going trick-or-treating a lot. That, in all honesty, I love that even more than Christmas. I love to get the candy. Even to this day, I wish I had, children around me to go trick-or-treating with. And we would always go back to our houses, right? And I'm still going to recommend this if you go trick-or-treating. And we always had Mom look through all of our candy. We had to look to see if any of it was opened. She would look for things like needle marks or the possibilities that there could be. Believe it or not, listen to me, I'm not trying to give other people ideas. But this is how scary it was sometimes, because we would hear stories through television or through the radio, whether or not there's razor blades that were actually put into things like apples, My mother looked over our candy for us, and I would recommend that to any of you. Please do that. Please have your parents or an adult, someone you can trust, look over your candy, your fruits when you go trick-or-treating. And I'm not trying to cast fear in you. I'm just trying to tell you, be careful when you do it. We still went trick-or-treating. There were times we had to throw things away, and I really didn't want to, but I trusted my mom's instinct that it probably wasn't the best thing to eat. And I had a problem. There were certain candies that I liked a lot, so I would eat it very fastly. Too much too soon. I'd play hooky and eat my candy all the time. Sometimes dig into, my brothers and my sisters. Sorry. But went trick-or-treating a lot up here. There were certain neighborhoods you didn't really want to go into, so they said, because, can I just say that it just wasn't as trusted as much. And then there was other neighborhoods like this. Remember I told you we went where if you would, the middle class. We were kind of like the lower class. I don't want to say that we were. Please don't take my words wrong and feel insulted. We were kind of like in a poor neighborhood, and then we had the middle class and rich class. I guess at that time I actually believed that there was more rich people that lived here. I mean, to me, everybody in the whole city was rich but us. So here we go. One day, let me see, where was I? I can't remember if I was on this side or the other side. I was on this side of the street, but I don't know. I think I was up here. Hold on. I could be wrong about this. If my stepbrothers would end up seeing this, I don't know. But I remember walking up here. I remember I was the leader of the pack for the first time in my life. I have my two stepbrothers with me. We're walking through the neighborhood. I'm thinking I never got in trouble in this area. The odds of me getting in any fights around here, 0. It's safe. Because one thing is for sure, Tracilyn didn't want to get beat up in front of her stepbrothers. Oh gosh, what would that start at home? I don't want to start that happening in my house. So can I tell you, I was right in this area. Right down from 4th and Chestnut Street. Okay? It was cold out that year. I had gloves on. Okay? Or that season. It was during that season. I had gloves on. I'm assuming this was probably, I think this, I may have been in 5th grade, I may not have been, I can't remember. But I was in a higher grade. And this was a guy that had really long hair. I thought he was good looking, to be honest with you. I thought he was a good looking guy. And he was with a football player, a sports person. We called him jocks. Okay, can I just say that nicely? We considered him a jock, a sports fanatic. He was with this friend who had really short hair and stuff, and he was well liked too. The look in him and everything was well favored in our school. The other guy with the long hair, he smoked cigarettes a lot, probably did drugs at the time. I'm not saying that he did, but I'm just saying more than likely he did. So here's the thing, check this out. We're walking along the street. I'm feeling that it's safe. And them two, they're walking towards us. And as they're walking towards us, honestly, I can't remember except for, I think they said, aren't you in the wrong neighborhood? I'm not sure. If they see this, maybe they'll see it and they can refresh their memory. You're in the wrong neighborhood. What are you doing in our neighborhood kind of thing? Basically, that's what it was. And I can't remember, something might have started in school. And can I just say that I was in front of my stepbrother, so I started to shake a little bit. I got nervous, but I wasn't walking away. I wasn't going to run. Okay, but I'm getting nervous, so I'm starting to shake a lot. And can I tell you, the first words out of his mouth, from what I remembered, so I must have knew some kind of karate, is he said, "Don't use that karate stuff on me." Okay? Don't use that karate stuff on me. Do you think I'm going to withhold everything that I've learned to protect myself and my stepbrothers who meant a lot to me? And I can't be shamed and embarrassed. Well, how do you, once you learn the craft, the art of any kind of self-defense, how do you unlearn it just so you can fight that person? What they considered fairly. I mean, that was a joke, really. It was a joke. Isn't that a joke? Don't use the karate on me, but let's fight. Let me, basically what he was saying is, let me kick your butt in front of your brothers. Do you think I'm gonna let that happen? No. I had gloves on. Okay, they were really thick gloves. Anybody who knows me, I don't like the cold. I don't like the cold at all. Am I gonna take them off? Am I gonna take them off and be cold? And I already knew that if you punch somebody without a glove on, it hurts. It hurts a lot. It hurts yourself and it hurts them. I don't really want to hurt anybody. And to be honest with you, I don't want to hurt myself. I'm cold. Think I'm going to take my gloves off for him? Am I going to meet his demands when he starts telling me, don't use that karate stuff on me, don't use those gloves? Do you think I'm going to take them off? No. No. So here I'm with my stepbrothers. He's with somebody I already know that both of them people together could probably have kicked, and I'm sorry if my stepbrothers see this, probably could have kicked all of our butts. They don't want me to leave. These guys were tough. My stepbrothers were tough. They didn't get picked on like me. And I don't think they knew too much history of me at that time about me being bullied. I didn't want them to know. I don't want to be a sissy in front of them. So I'm going to make a long story short. This all happened very quickly, by the way. Is I noticed he was getting ready to go for me, and I just turned around. And I learned a lot from the guy who was beating me up, and let me tell you, I smacked his forehead. Or not his forehead, his side of his head, and he went down instantly on the ground. And to this day I laugh about that, only because I was so angry. I was tired of being bullied around. What? I'm in your neighborhood, you know, I'm in your neighborhood kind of thing. And it was amazing. That's when I realized how much power that Tracilyn has. She can really knock people down with one punch. I didn't want to. Okay, let's make that clear. I didn't want to. I'm not saying any names. But I knocked him down. One punch. I remember him wiping the side of his cheek. He got up. He was kind of shocked. But that happened because everybody else is beating me up. Can I tell you something? Everybody else is beating me up, especially that one guy. He thinks he's going to do it in front of my stepbrothers. What do you think about that? High five. For anybody being bullied out there, high five. Okay? High five. So let me tell you something. As I started to excel and become closer friends with guys who knew martial arts, guys who were involved in self-defense, guys who were saying, stop getting beat up all the time, Tracilyn. I started standing up for myself like that situation there. The thing that got me the most is, I already knew, I was smart enough to know he didn't own the neighborhood. Him and his friend didn't own the neighborhood. Number two, we're not going there to start any trouble. We're just walking around town. Number three, nobody's going to tell me what I can and cannot use to defend myself. Okay? I don't have any weapons. I could understand if he said don't use any weapons. Okay, that's an agreement. Let us not use weapons. But I'm going to use my fist if I have to defend myself. He went for me first. He's trying to strip me down of everything that would be useful to protect me. Don't use your karate. Don't use your gloves. Let me tell you something. There was kind of like a leather type of material on those gloves, and that stung a lot. Not me, it stung him. And let me tell you something. I was smart to leave that glove on because it didn't hurt me at all. It hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings. And I remember when he fell down, shocked. He had that shocked look on his face. I remember how much I hurt. That hurt me. He's out there, he sees this video, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for defending myself. I'm not sorry. How can I say this? I'm not sorry for defending myself. But I'm sorry that we had to come to that agreement that we had to fight. Because as a whole, I'm sorry. How about this? I'm sorry that you pushed me to the level of having to fight you. I didn't want to fight. I don't want to fight anybody. Still to this day, I don't. So that often bothered me for a long time. And then I started getting more worried. Maybe I shouldn't go too far outside of our own neighborhood if we're going to get in fights everywhere I go. Because to be honest with you, I don't want to fight. How many times does a person have to say that in their life? You know, I don't want to fight. Evidently, the universe is telling me I have to fight. You have to fight, Tracilyn. You have to fight. You have to fight. Be a fighter. Maybe I should have been a boxer. Maybe I should have been a kung fu master. Maybe I should have took karate. Why do I take music? Why do I sing? Why do I play guitar? Why do I have other passions in life? You know, maybe my real thing that I'm supposed to do in this world is fight. Maybe I should have been a fighter, been a wrestler, a WWF wrestler, do you think? Could you see me wrestling? I should have been a fighter. No, I shouldn't have been a fighter. No, I should have never been pushed to those limits. No, I should have never been harassed all my school years, my whole life. No, my mom shouldn't have been almost killed in front of me. No, there shouldn't be this sort of violence. We can live in peace and harmony, believe it or not. We can discuss things, we can talk about things, we can reach mutual agreements. Okay, but I'm not going to be told I can't walk through a neighborhood. You shouldn't be told that you can't walk through a neighborhood. Why not? Because you got an orange hat on. Is it because you got an orange hat on? Is that why? Maybe because you got the white jacket? Is it my pink shirt? You know? Is it because I'm walking down the streets in my bikini? I don't know. Why can't I walk through your neighborhood? As long as I'm not hurting it. As long as I'm not bending the lights. Okay? Destroying the property. That was a fight that I remember. That year, it bugged me. Let me tell you something. It bugged me for years. Because, guess why? I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to fight. And now I'm allowing these people to push me to the limits that now I'm being forced to do something I don't want to do. Why are you forcing me to do something I don't want to do? I don't want to punch. I don't want to fight. Can I walk around the neighborhood with a smile on my face without doing that? Is that possible? Let me tell you something. I didn't feel that way about Lebanon, Pennsylvania. How could I? How could I? How could I feel that way about this city? It didn't happen to me in Jonestown. In the country, it didn't happen. City life, let me tell you something. I can't imagine if you're being bullied and you live in a big city, what it must be like. I can't imagine. This is a small town. This is a small town. This isn't that big. Some people that were born and raised around here, they may have thought that it was until they got out and ventured out and realized it's not so big. You can't just go around bullying people around and kicking their butts. You just can't do it. Okay? Sometimes big fish, they're bigger fish if they stay in a smaller pond, you know? And some people, they thrive off that. They're not taught that. Maybe it's learned behavior. Do you think so? Do you think it's something they watched on television? Could be. Do you think it's their parents? Do you think it's somebody that they were raised around? They learned, but this is learned behavior. I mean, it's not in, I would have to say that it's not in our nature to want to go around beating up people. Okay? Something happens to us throughout our life. I don't know what it is. I've always been on the side of being bullied. I've never been on the side of wanting to go out and hurt people for no reason. Do you feel that way? Do you want to go out and hurt people for no reason? I've never felt that way. Maybe through words, and words can be very powerful, very hurtful. And I'm sorry for those times that I did. It's because I was hurting, that's why I did it. Maybe some of these guys were hurting, I don't know. I don't know what they were going through. I can only assume that there's other challenges for them that maybe I never had to endure. Or maybe we had similar challenges and we handled them differently. you know? I have other things to work on now in my life, of course, as I'm moving along. I'm just sharing my life story. And I want to be useful to helping you. If you're being bullied, sharing my story, number one, is going to let you know you're not alone. Okay? And if we're willing to reach out to one another, maybe there's something within sharing our life stories together that we can come to the conclusion to live a peaceful life for the generations coming after us. What could we do together? What could we do together as a team? Even from wherever you are, if you're in another country, another city, another state, another town, another block, another neighborhood, this side of the street, that side of the street. What are some ideas that could maybe help the future generations coming behind us, that they aren't getting bullied so much? What's the answers? Can we find some answers together maybe? I'm getting a little tired. Right now I'm going to have to go and download some of the footage that I have recorded here today. So when I share my story here today at elementary school, Harding Elementary, 6th and Chestnut Street, understand this. I do not want to upset anybody. I don't. But I also know that I'm not responsible for upsetting you if you are upset. Okay? I'm sharing my life. These are true things that absolutely happened to me. Some people question whether or not I was bullied once or twice in my life. Did it happen once or twice, do you think? Maybe. Let me tell you something. It happened more than I ever cared to share, but today I am. I think there'd be other things in my life I'd rather be doing than sharing a life story of being beat up all the time. What might have happened if I would have went to 2nd grade when I came here? You think that life would have been any different? Did you ever wonder about things like that? What if I would have went to 2nd grade and I would have been hanging out with these guys who were bullying me around? Maybe I would have been bullying other people. You think of that? Maybe I didn't know how to deal with things at home, so now I'm going to take it out on other people. You think I would do that? No. It's not in my nature. I never did it. I never did it. I never did it throughout my life. Ever. In fact, I tried to stay away from stuff like that. Started escaping. Started trying to escape through music. Reflecting back in those years of escape to this elementary school. Lafayette Street, Union Alley, you know, Chestnut Street. All these things that happened in my life. I'm trying to escape. I don't want to keep remembering these, but I don't know how. Did you ever feel like you just don't know how to get it out of your head? How do you get it out of your head? I'm 41, I'm gonna be 41 in a couple days, 6 days. How do you get it out of your head? Is it meant to get out of your head? Is it possible? Somehow we got to go through, what I'm realizing is we have to go through our life journey. And we have to kind of maybe analyze it a little bit. And we have to seek for a way that's going to work for ourselves. To heal. To heal. And we have to be able to look in the mirror at some point. Like now, I have to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love myself. I love what I became. And to be honest with you, I can rest assured that I had to go through everything that I did in order to be who I am. Did you ever feel that way? Did I have to go through all that to be who I am? Whether I had to or not, I did. And I can rest assured, 100% for sure, that all that stuff that happened to me, that I've been through, is a result of why I'm holding this camera and sharing it with you and caring about you even though I don't know you. I don't need to know you. I work better on this side than that side, trust me. So for anybody being bullied out there, understand this. I don't want you to ever have to fight, but my strongest recommendation up to this point would be seek out people you can trust that are older than yourself maybe, or younger. Maybe sometimes they have the answer. If nothing's being done within your school, you're talking to your teachers, they're not listening, and you're not listening at the principal office, go higher, go outside. Go to the head school district. You know, can we go to the police, local police force? Do you trust doing that? You're too scared of doing that? One thing is for sure. You take a self-defense class. I strongly urge you to. Self-defense. Because once you take that self-defense class, all you got to do is have one moment. One moment where you don't run. You take a swing and the guy hits the ground. You take a swing, the guy hits the ground, his friend's standing there. Quite an embarrassment. It's going to get around. People spread words around like viruses. The whole school's going to know. Oh my goodness, that person nailed. So sometimes it could attract more. Sometimes it could attract more, but let's hope not. In my situation, I can honestly tell you, it fizzled out. I'm looking forward to sharing with you my junior high school years. Let me tell you something, they weren't easy. Escape, 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 escape. Okay? Till one day. The rest of the years, they weren't easy, but they got better. A lot better. This was the start of it. This was a start of it. But when you're going to junior high school, now you got a whole bunch of people from all different elementary schools within the city, all going to the same school. At that time, it was 7th and 8th grade. Remember I told you Cedar Crest was 6th, 7th, and 8th. Thank goodness, I was so thankful that here, you know, because after leaving 6th grade here, we're at the top of the class. This is happening less and less. I'm not looking forward to going to 7th grade to seeing the same guys who bullied me around. I'm not looking to meet all of these people. Understand, I don't want to meet people anymore. I'm done. By this time, I am done. I have some great memories to share, some not so great memories to share, but in the end, one karate chop. Ho-wah! Ho-wah! Judo chop! Only it was with my leg. What do you think of that? Can I even get my leg up anymore? I don't know if I can get my leg up anymore, but I'll tell you what I did that day. Thank you, Karate Kid. Whoever you are. Ooh. I love you. I will be back. I gotta go download this down, and I've got the junior high school years and the high school years to go. Take a self-defense class. Self-defense. Don't use it to go around and bulldogging other people. Don't try to be a superhero. Okay? Don't try to be a superhero. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Learn how to do it properly. Okay? It takes one time. One time can change your whole life because you protected yourself. I know it's scary. For some of you, listen, other people may be laughing right now. Good. Good. Leave a comment down below. Be nice. Be nice, but leave a comment. Can I tell you something? For those who are in tears right now, you're listening to this story. For those of you who are going through a similar thing, let me tell you something. There's hope. But the hope isn't out there somewhere. Understand that. I've been told this my whole life. I'm seeking around. Remember, is it God? What about God? Where's Jesus when I need him? Where's Jesus when I need him? Where is Jesus and God when Tracilyn needs him to save her from all of this mess? Oh, I ruffled some feathers, did I? Maybe it's that preacher later on TV. Maybe I need to hear another message. Maybe I need to hear the guy down in Texas. Maybe hearing his message will change my life of victory. Now I need to hold my head up and walk on. Is that it? Will that make a difference in my life? Because I'll tell you right now, it doesn't make a difference in your life, okay? I'll tell you what's going to make a difference in your life. Go take self-defense classes, all right? Whatever is your interest. Is it boxing? Is it karate? Is it martial arts? I don't know all the forms of fighting. Don't use it to go around hurting other people. And know this. A God out there somewhere is not going to help you. Okay? You are God of your life. You are going to help you. So other things, let me tell you something. I have a life to share with you. I want to talk about being bullied. Later years, you'll find out it didn't happen physically. It happened mentally. Mentally. All this stuff I went through physically, still not over yet. Happened to me mentally. As it was throughout my life. Okay? Please. Self-defense. The sooner you get into it, word gets around. You might attract some to you, but the odds of it is, hey, let's learn. What are the ways to get along? For now, let's defend ourselves. Let's defend ourselves. Something's coming our way. Let's send a statement. You're not going to do this anymore, for starters. Approach people you can trust, or you feel strongly you can trust. It's hard. It's not easy. A lot of times people don't want to take the time to help you. Okay, if you're being bullied. Nobody seemed to want to help me. I got laughed at a lot when I would reach out to people to try to help me. Okay. Same in later years. Got a lot of mental things going on. I was being bullied mentally. A lot of people laughing at me. It's okay. Laugh at me. Laugh at me. Laugh at me. Laugh at me. Okay. There's a lot of times that I was wondering throughout my life, was it when I got molested when I was a child? Was it when I got raped when I was a child? Or not necessarily raped. Yeah, raped. Was it the times that I did get raped? Was it the time that I got molested? You know, basically the same. Basically. But not totally the same. What was it? Let me tell you something. Worrying about getting beat up every day, that has a lot to do with a person's outcome in life. Scared to walk around the neighborhood, scared to walk around on the streets, you hide in the alleyways. You know, it gets better. Listen to me, it does get better at some point. For a while. For a while, then I meet another source of bullyism. Or I acknowledge it. Can I say I acknowledge it? And now it's not physical anymore. It begins to become very mental. Because I keep believing something out there cares about me. Let me tell you something. You hear crazy stuff like that. I don't want to take away from your beliefs. In my times of need, where is that out there somewhere that cares about me? Right here. If I don't care about me, nothing else is going to. Not in my time of need. Okay. High five. You're loved. You're loved. You want to continue on through life? Self-defense. Learn how to defend yourself. Safely. It can be a lot of fun too. Let me tell you something. When I used to take the karate class, I got to know other people. I wasn't as talented as the other people around, but I can assure you that I worked hard at it. My sister took karate. Do it together as a family thing. Whatever it is. It doesn't have to be karate. For me, it was a Shinrin karate. And can I tell you something? I only had to use it a couple times. That's it. Done. By the time I was in high school, I didn't have to use it anymore. And you're going to find out why. You're going to find out why. Remember, there's a friend. Things get around. People found out. But you're going to learn. Junior high school. I'm looking forward to sharing that experience with you, because that's where one of the most amazing musical experiences ever happened to me. I love you, even if nobody else loves you. I'm not there with you to defend you. I'm here to speak for you. Okay? Say hi if you want to. Don't forget, my website, Tracilyn.com. Download free music. And also, for anybody who hears these messages, if it's any way possible whatsoever that you feel moved in your heart, you believe in the things that I'm saying, you're supporting, maybe you're being bullied, maybe you know people who have been bullied. Can I just tell you, sometimes there's challenges in the world that can't be met for me. And one of those things that I need more than anything right now is financial resources. Okay? I do have a donation PayPal button on my website. I'm not trying to push this. I'm just asking. If you feel that you can contribute a little bit of something. I stay at low-grade hotels a lot of times, mid-grade. I got a vehicle that I use for transportation, food. Right now I'm living on peanut butter. I'm almost done. I got 1 week to share my life story yet. Up to 2009. After that, I'm going to kind of head out of Pennsylvania. Keep your chin up. You're being bullied. Keep your chin up. Things can turn around for you. I promise you, they can turn around. But it's not going to be because somebody said on television, more than likely. At least not a preacher person. You got to care about you. Start caring about you.